In northern New York lie the ancient and beautiful Adirondack Mountains. Today, 32 teams of adventure athletes await the opportunity of a lifetime to compete in this never-before-raced area and experience the natural beauty of pristine mountain forests, endless gravel roads, and Class 3 whitewater. The New York Adventure Racing Association is hosting a 24-hour adventure race here, and some of the most experienced teams in the sport have lined up at the start of what will be a roughly 80-mile course.
The strategy for today is to just try to keep ourselves found the whole time, make smart nav choices, smart strategy choices, but just know that if we get ourselves lost, the course is going to get even longer and even slower, so the plan is just to take it slow and steady and hope that equals fast today.
This year's event included an orienteering sprint prologue prior to the official race start. The times here will be added to their overall course time to determine final placement, and some racers made the most of the opportunity to gain a slight edge. At 10:38 a.m., the longest day officially began as all 31 teams lined up for 16 miles of guided whitewater rafting along the Hudson River. Leg 1 of the race was more cooperative than competitive, as multiple teams shared the large guided rafts. For most of the paddle, the Class 3 whitewater was the only opponent. However, as the river calmed toward the end of the route, teams were allowed to officially begin racing. The fastest boats gained a roughly 6-minute advantage here before moving into the chaos of the transition area. In the pouring rain, teams removed dry suits and wetsuits, ditched their paddle gear, and left for what would become the most challenging and important leg of the race, a 20-point row gain through the Vanderwacker Mountain Wild and Gore Mountain property. Rogaine is an acronym that stands for Rugged Outdoor Group Activity involving navigation and endurance, and these challenging legs of adventure races are often pivotal in determining the overall outcome. There were only 2 mandatory points for teams on this trek, M1 and Transition Area 2. All other 19 points were optional, placed deep in the woods off trail, in streams, and on top of mountains. It would take the winning team over 72 kilometers and over 3,500 meters of elevation gain to visit all the points in this section, making them one of only 2 teams to accomplish the feat. As night fell, the rain continued to pour over the course. Teams have now been racing constantly for nearly 12 hours, and they're only halfway done. In the darkness ahead of them, the teams now face nearly 50 kilometers of mountain biking on ski trails, single track, and winding gravel roads. The 10 points available on this leg are all optional, and only the top teams are expected to visit them all. With the race happening so close to the actual longest day of the year, the summer solstice, the dawn of the next morning came early to a grateful and tired field. The challenging night navigation, brutal weather conditions, and building fatigue slowly spread the race out, with many teams opting to forego entire sections of the course in order to make the 10:38 a.m. finish cutoff. In one final push, racers at the longest day gear up to get on their bikes one last time for a roughly 11-mile uphill slog to the finish line. They have been racing continuously for nearly 24 hours, and their goal is in sight. Just a few more hills to climb and trails to ride. As the sun returned to the sky, the winning team, Rootstock Racing, crossed the finish line in a total time of 22 hours and 19 minutes. Adventure racing is an extreme challenge in the best of conditions. The athletes who came out to the Adirondacks for the 2024 longest day faced not only a difficult course, but punishing rain and wind. Crossing the finish line, however, is that much sweeter when you endure everything that nature throws at you and still make it home as a team.